Hello, Rob Walker here. So, I've had a few people ask me about the recently announced Ghostbusters film and how I feel about it. For those of you who don't know, a new Ghostbusters film has been greenlit, which means they should be developing the story or the script or something right now. Anyway, the ball is rolling. However, this Ghostbusters film will be its own thing. It's going to be a reboot. I hate that term, almost as much as I hate the term reimagining. This Ghostbusters reboot is being developed by Paul Feig, who is responsible for directing the hilarious and awesome Bridesmaids. As a Ghostbusters fan, I kind of feel like if they were going to do a second sequel or a third film, the time to have done it probably was a decade ago. I appreciate Dan Aykroyd's enthusiasm regarding the project, but it didn't get off the ground, and that's okay. I feel like as a Ghostbusters fan, I've been intensely well taken care of, given the material produced. We did get a sequel. I know a lot of people don't care for Ghostbusters 2, but you're wrong. A couple of years ago, we also got a really great video game, in which all but Sigourney Weaver and Rick Moranis returned to do voices. Seriously, Max von Sydow, the voice of Vigo the Carpathian, returned to read lines from the basement of the Ghostbusters firehouse. That's awesome. And more than that, the game was fun and engaging and kind of scratched every possible Ghostbusters itch I ever had, including allowing me to use my Wiimote and nunchuck as a neutron wand and ghost trap. Also, the comic book publisher IDW released a Ghostbusters comic book series, which was amazing. If you get a chance, you should pick up the Ghostbusters Collected Edition from IDW. It's a red book. It looks like the Ghostbusters Containment Unit. For any Ghostbusters fan, you won't be disappointed. That book is great. So as far as a sequel to the original series, I kind of feel like I already got it. I kind of feel like the video game and the comic book took care of that for me. The characters are there, and I feel myself satisfied. So then the question remains, Rob, what do you think of an all-female Ghostbusters movie? First of all, Paul Feig did a brilliant job with Bridesmaids. That movie is hilarious. It's well written, it's well acted. Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, just everyone in that film does an excellent job. So I kind of feel like Paul Feig, the person attached to direct and develop this project, is good at his job. But I also don't think it's fair that an all-female Ghostbusters is a thing being pitched, you know what I mean? I think that Bridesmaids is funny because it's funny, not because they're women. I think it's funny because the writing's funny, and the acting's funny, and the directing's funny, and everything came together, and the movie's good because it's good. The proof's in the pudding. And I also think that looking at Ghostbusters through the lens of it's Ghostbusters, but with all females, is kind of the wrong way to pitch a project and is kind of insulting. I think the real question is, what is the story? Is the story good? Is the story something that will give these actors something worthwhile to perform? Is the story worth directing for Paul Feig? Is the story something we're going to want to watch? What's the story? And the fact of the matter is that there is no story. There's no story, there's no script. Right now, there's just people running around answering questions about what an all-female Ghostbusters movie would even look like. And unfortunately, I think those are the wrong questions being asked. So I'm a Ghostbusters fan, and I'm also a fan of Bridesmaids, and I like to laugh, and I like spooky stuff, and I'm curious to see what the movie's going to be like. But I have to say that I'm kind of experiencing some form of nostalgia fatigue. I realize that Hollywood is hedging their bets because millions of dollars goes into these movies, and they want to make sure that these properties have an audience because they want a return on their investment. That's like business 101. But as an artist and a fan of the arts myself, I want to see new, engaging, and exciting stories, and I don't really feel like I've seen any of those in a long time. At least none that weren't an adaptation of something else. The Gone Girl, that was a book. Filth by Irving Welsh, that was a book as well. Oh man. Frozen? But even Frozen uses the same tropes from Disney movies to make a point about its characters and their growth, so kind of, but not really. As much as I love Ghostbusters, I'd really rather see a fresh new film even more. So, while I have my ticket, if I were to talk directly to Hollywood executives, I would say, do this, have this, but also set aside some of that money for real, fresh ideas. Where people are hungry for them. We want to see them. We want to see new ideas. We really do. But I'd also like to hear what you guys think. So please leave comments. Let me know what you think. Yeah, are you into it? Are you not? What do you think about the movies that have come before? We can just geek out about Ghostbusters. That's cool too. I'm a big fan. This is Rob Walker saying, we're ready to believe you. Legend has it that even as a child, Peter Venkman was incapable of a sincere smile. The farthest he could go was a heartfelt smirk. In high school, he was voted most likely to become a used car salesman or a game show host. Venkman never cared. He knew he had it within himself to achieve greatness, and if he didn't find it within himself, he knew he could probably pick it up somewhere at a discount. He had been great once, a bona fide Ghostbuster. Now, the fellow with the 24-hour smirk, the cocky attitude, and hair that looked like it had just been dried in a mixmaster sat in the tiny TV studio given to him by WKRR Channel 10 in New York. Ghostbusters!